freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey, folks. Here yet again. Another iteration of Dude After Dark. This one, of course, being the New Year's edition. And, of course, I did actually splash myself. I was doing the thumbnail and one of the bottles was leaking. Oopsie. Oh, well. I'll fix that right now. You shan't ever leak on me again. Gave him who's who and what's fur. Anyway, so looking at the New Year's, people coming in the room, hopefully, get some good stuff going on like that there. If not, you basically catch me in review. Yes, I will have the wet spot for a while until I evaporate. All right, so looking at things as it is, we do, of course, have our usual really repartee upon that crap which they pause upon us as daily living, and we have to then engage upon ourselves to further give our opinions therein upon such items. So anyway, look at that stuff as it is. What do we got? Right up the bat, we have ourselves more stupid things coming out of Maricopa County in Arizona. Yeah. What can you expect to find in, Maricopa County? Well, you could say pretty much you're just going to have stuff that is just, election process idiocy of the highest order. Yeah. This one coming in from truthpress.com. Arizona election officers couldn't reconcile 15,000 votes in disparity. This whole Kerry Lake thing, they're really close to saying one or the other, but no, these votes are in disparity, so we can't possibly apply them. And she's basically going to be in there no matter what, and you're going to be liking it, so, the Democrat wins. Oh, my. Yeah. So anyway, reading this thing up, it says essentially that the chick that supposedly was in charge of the election process was running for the election for governor. Nah, there's no problem with that in the slightest. Yeah, golf clap on that one. She's just above any impropriety. Just. Yeah, there's no impropriety there in the slightest. Yeah. Maricopa County really truly need to get your act together. Now coming out that basically more people are falling by the wayside because of the, you know it, you love it, that wonderful little thing known as the Oh, yeah. And we have to be very, very careful about how we speak about the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection, because we'll be dealing with the Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. Fact check. Right, and we have to deal with the you know it, you love it. Fact check. Yeah, you got to watch out for the fact check, because it'll come back and bite you. You'll have that little stupid banner in your stuff, and because let's see, Twitter, well, maybe not so much Twitter anymore, but definitely Facebook and YouTube, you'll be getting the fact check, just to make sure that you're, above board and not calling these things anything of which they really truly are, but you're being honest about the fact check. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I really want to tell these people. Oh man. Yeah. Wow. There is some stuff that's happened over the holiday season. I don't know if you guys heard about it or not, but essentially, Sound Guy and I, we decided to go and do some karaoke, and it's been in the room. I think it was Patriot Fever was asking about, whether Sound Guy or anybody would be doing like Elton John, Rocket Man, but we did the karaoke, and oh, wow. There's no other way to say it except for what it is. But Sound Guy literally was wanting to be that guy who was doing things on, well, YouTube. So he decided he wanted to do. Should I even really talk about this? But yeah, he wanted to do Rocket Man. So bad. Yeah. It went longer. Okay. Let's just say it went a lot longer. And I truly couldn't stand for it to go longer. So what I did was I essentially said to myself, self, you don't need to subject yourself to this any longer than positively necessary. So I only got that little snippet, and that's literally all I'm ever going to play. Okay. You can rest assured on that one. I will not do it in any other way, shape, and form other than well, being stuck listening to his 15 or 18 seconds of whatever it is. But yeah, that's literally what we're stuck doing here. Listening to Sound Guy. Wow. There's no other way to say it, but to call it what it is, and that's what it is. And yipes. Okay. Oh man. Anyway, so getting back to the original premise of talking about things, we were talking about the Chinese Communist covert viral infection clot shot, and people had received items, and you got to be really, very careful because you're going to be dealing with the fact check. So anyway, some not too terribly old guy that actually happened to be a producer for ABC News suddenly, well, just die suddenly of a heart attack. The guy was only 37 years old, and I'd say that probably he was somebody that went back and got all of the shots. Yeah, well, hopefully he didn't get all that, and that was not the cause of it. But seems to be a lot of things going on now with people having problems with their ticker going bum on them. Anyway, PR Thomas from the Bronx. So I appreciate you checking in, dude. All right, so looking at stuff here, they now have got something interesting. Not talking about anything Chinese communist covert viral related. Obviously that thing of which we're not supposed to talk about because we'll get a fact check. But anyway, so supposedly there's now suppressing the notion of just imminent demise by ingesting fentanyl. This one coming in, this one I think is very, very interesting, but supposedly it is from truthpress.com. Scientists have now developed a new quote unquote vaccine, and I'm reading that as they stated it there, YouTube, Facebook, anybody else that wants to throw a fact check on it. This is a news story, and their title is stating it. Scientists have developed a new quote unquote vaccine against fentanyl. Notice Facebook, YouTube, and all the rest of these guys, we're talking about fentanyl, not the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. But since the Chinese Communist covert viral infection pandemic, drug overdose deaths reached a record high in 2020 alone. 91,799 people died from overdoses. The majority of these overdoses were linked to fentanyl. Fentanyl is the number one cause of death among Americans aged 18 to 45, even above, I guess, accidental idiocy and stupid stuff and stupid human tricks and all the rest of that fun stuff. In an attempt to have a quote-unquote solution to the opioid pandemic, which fentanyl is not an opioid. It is a synthetic heroin substitute that is so much more effective than like 3 grains of sand of the stuff will put you down. Thomas, yes, I knew who you were, dude. That's actually one of my brothers from another, brother from another mother in New York City. So anyway, these guys are now creating a new quote unquote vaccine that prevents the fentanyl from reaching the brain. As of right now, the stuff is in trial stages. Could be in the market within 3 to 4 years. Okay, we're for wiping out almost 100,000 people per year. You might want to put a little bit of rush on that one there. Another person basically saying they're developed a heart condition due to the shot. Yeah, supposedly somebody who's not very old is working for ABC. What is it with ABC News? All these guys are crapping out and getting heart problems. But anyway, they say essentially it is the situation of getting the shot, and potentially those people are now developing health and heart issues. Yeah. Another news story: 9-year-old kid dies after developing a blood clot from the shot. Yeah. So it might not be the safest thing ever. Yeah. Well, speaking of some good news for a change, let's talk about some good news for a change. Let's just hope this becomes a permanent delay. But supposedly, this blew up so hugely in even the face of a tyrannical organization as the IRS, or the Internal Revenue Service, that they halted their controversial new ruling requiring reporting of $600 payments on PayPal and all these other, all these other cash fund systems that you can basically send money to. So the news story reads as such. Treasury Department Internal Revenue Service announced Friday a one-year delay to the new tax reporting requirements for digital transactions over a $600 threshold. Now, if you were smart, what you would probably do is you would send somebody like $350, wait for a few more days, and then go, okay, here's the rest of the $600. Patriot Fever, you missed that which was your namesake's statement thereof. Yeah, I'd play it again, but I actually had a karaoke version from Sound Guy of him doing Rocket Man. I might play it again a little later, okay? But I'm not going to play it like 10 minutes into the podcast where everybody else going, no, dude, you just played it, okay? Stop, don't play it again, okay? Anyway, the IRS is stating that they're now going to hold off on this $600 reporting thing for 1 year. The delay prevents e-commerce platforms from having to send a 1099-K tax form to users, and the IRS starting in 2023. It gives more time for the oppositional lawmakers to raise the revenue threshold, according to the Wall Street Journal. Well, if I was the oppositional law guys, what I would be saying, let's just make that about 15 freaking bazillion threshold. Just so that the IRS goes, oh, yeah, we really can't do anything. Darn. Yeah, if you make that threshold like completely ridiculous to the point where it's such a high threshold that they can't do it, that's how you fix the IRS from, doing a power grab. Because the IRS is a bureaucracy dependent upon the Treasury. They are not lawmakers. They can't institute policy. They can't really institute things that are a change in the laws. And if they do, they can get held to task. Just give me 1 second here. This one I find, and I'm going to be bashing on rhinos today, okay? So you guys are going to get fair warning on that one. The news story I'm trying to not to read here is blatantly obvious to anybody with a heartbeat. But the Republican Daily says it's now very clear why there was no red wave. I don't know, because could it be because of the king rhinos? Yeah, could that maybe be what it is? That's a fat news day, folks. I'm going to be rushing over a couple of them, so don't even worry about that one. But yeah, I have more rhino bashing. Stay tuned. And I do think it's rather interesting that, Putin is now ready to negotiate with Ukraine. Oh, I was ready to talk anytime, but they're not talking to us. They're not talking to you because you keep bombing their country, jackass. Whoopi Goldberg. There's a backlash on Whoopi Goldberg. Like, that's really new. Yet again, she really tends to open her mouth and stick her foot in it on The View, also known as The 5 Screaming Harridans on ABC. There's a backlash as Whoopi Goldberg doubles down on her Holocaust race claims. Why would somebody who claims a name as a on screen name as a Jewish name like Goldberg would then be so anti-Semitic as to say idiotic, just blanket stupid statements about anybody in World War II is beyond me. But she's good at it. Back in February, ABC's The View co-host and actress Whoopi Goldberg earned herself a 2-week suspension after doubling down on claims the Holocaust was not about race. Right, those pesky those pesky Russians that were fighting those pesky Germans, and the Germans were fighting everybody. It wasn't about like some kind of blaming somebody to make them the scapegoats. No, nothing like that at all. I got more about her later. Stand by on that one. This one coming up truthpress.com. And this one kind of tickles me just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, you guys know essentially an internal combustion engine basically gets warm. It stays warm. You need more gas. You put gas in the gas tank. It takes you maybe like not even 5 minutes to refill it. It's pretty simple, easy. The worst thing you have is during cold weather, potentially you need a good battery to get it started. Excuse me one sec. You need a good battery to get it started, but once it's running, essentially in cold weather, it's really, really hard to overheat a gas engine car in absolutely brutal cold weather. Usually doesn't happen unless the cooling fluid freezes. And even in those times, it'll just melt and start running anyway. So that beyond the obvious, an internal combustion engine works in really, really cold weather temperatures. Just got to keep the thing, with sufficient amount of fuel, it'll go. Okay, that's it's not rocket science. However, on the other side of the aisle, those people who are stridently EV owners or electric vehicle owners are saying that, well, they're having issues with cold weather. And not so much the guys in California where they're getting the little pop-up on the screen in the car saying, ding, hey, don't charge your car. We're having like excessive power usage right now during hot weather. Don't overstress the grid. No. This one coming in from truthpress.com. Tesla owners stranded on Christmas Eve after cold weather paralyzes the battery. Freezing door handles. Now, you know how a Tesla works, right? You walk up to the car, the door handles are flush with the car body to improve aerodynamics. It's really not that much of a drag, really, folks. Anyway, so what happens is on a Tesla, you walk up to the car, you tap the door handle goes ka-chunk and pops out of the car about yay much, so you can actually like open the door and what have you. And then when you're done, it goes ka-chunk and it pops back in and flush with the car body. So anyway, the way it works on some of those cars, on some of those days when they're so frozen up with all the ice around the door handle that it just goes and goes, sorry, too much stress and strain. I know not to keep pushing. And the situation is as such is that you can't go, hey, boop, I need you to come out. And it goes, sorry, not doing it. You can bang on that door handle all day long and it's going to be frozen up to the point where the car goes, nope, I'm not going to give you my door handle. If I do, I might break something. Even if you get it free, it might not realize the fact that it's now free because it goes, oh no, I tried too many times and I'm not going to do it anymore. So anyway, the door handles are there frozen shut. You can't get into the car. Once you do get into the car, Tesla owners brave the cold this Christmas weekend were met with winter range anxiety. As we explained last week, cold weather will degrade battery performance. At least one video went viral on Christmas Eve of a person whose Model S wouldn't charge in the cold at a supercharger station. Dominic Noddy, 44, resident of Lynchburg, Virginia, rolled into a supercharger station Saturday afternoon with 19 miles left to charge. The Tesla dashboard showed outside temperatures were 19 degrees Fahrenheit. He made a video about his awful experience over the last 24 hours. In the video posted on TikTok, Noddy said the battery began showing issues on Friday when his Tesla wouldn't warm up and it wouldn't charge. Excuse me. He tried charging at the house and the supercharger station, but nothing seemed to work. In a last-ditch effort, he went to a supercharger station on Christmas Eve where he experienced the same issues. Noddy showed the video where the Tesla alert pops up and he plugs the car into the supercharger stall. It reads, battery is heating. Keep charge cable inserted. He timestamped the moment he plugged the vehicle in at 1:11 p.m. 1 hour later, it showed the same message with 19 miles range, which means the car did not charge. Then 2 hours later, he showed the same alert and no charge again. 2 hours went by, not much change. It was very slow and the numbers got lower as the temperatures dropped. Eventually, it stopped charging altogether, he told Business Insider. Naughty abandoned the Tesla at the supercharger station, fearing it would run out of juice. He canceled his Christmas plans because it was the only car he had, and added Tesla customer support and roadside assistance wouldn't help him troubleshoot the problem. The short video had more than 5,000 comments and went viral on TikTok with thousands of likes. Yeah. Okay, now here's the major problem with a Tesla. It is the same technology as your smartphone battery, meaning it's got a finite amount of ability to deal with temperatures. It overspikes on hot temperatures, it's going to bake. It goes cold, it might crap out. So what happens literally, and just lose that page there. So what happens literally is the battery in the car has to do two things. One, it has to power the vehicle, and oh yeah, it has to use its own power on board to charge and keep itself warmed. So I'm sorry, not charged, but it's energizing heating coils in the cooling system that's built into the car to keep the battery from overheating, to keep the battery warm. That's why it was losing power. It was trying to force itself to warm up to the point where it could accept a charge. Only problem was it had insufficient charge, and because it was cold, it was going vicious cycle of the outside temperature was beating the inside temperature, so the battery was going flat. Yeah. Pedro Beaver, time to call the diesel tow truck and DoorDash a salad for the Tesla owners. He also said maybe Tesla should have a cold storage for stranded motorists to warm their hands with. Wow. Well, I think the funniest one I saw yet was somebody was driving a Tesla and he wanted extended range. I forget what the premise was. I think dude was like trying to like hyper mile the Tesla or something. The whole time he had the thing running, he actually like cleaned out the trunk and built an enclosure and had a generator going. Brrr. The whole time he was driving, he had a gas generator running in the back of the Tesla. Now, I'm sure he probably got really, really decent mileage like that, but no, you're sitting at a hotel, you're trying to sleep, and all you hear is some single cylinder woodpecker going all night long, going in the parking lot. I've said it before. I really don't have a problem with EVs, but the gas tank sucks. Wow. I've said this expressly more than a few times, but cute to look at, but stupid to listen to. Yes, AOC does it yet again. Oh man, does she ever? Yipes. AOC blames Republicans for a bill failure. It turns out her own Democrat Party had shot it down as well. PatriotJournal.com. Well, she complained that a particularly socialist Holy Grail failed to get done in the first 2 years under Joe Biden. Of course, she blamed Republicans for the bill failing to get passed in Congress, but she was also faced with the facts from Fox News, who is not anybody I really particularly am beholden to. In a tweet on Monday, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez suggested Republicans were to blame for Congress failing to raise the minimum wage last year. Democrats introduced a bill, but unlike AOC's tweet suggests, the bill had bipartisan support. It also had opposition from Republicans and Democrats. As usual, AOC opted to be a bitter partisan instead of looking at the facts. After accusing Republicans of opposing a bill to raise the minimum wage, fact checkers told a few uncomfortable facts. The minimum wage hasn't changed since 2009. Meanwhile, Democrats have many chances since Obama in office to raise it, but failed. Most recent bills increased the minimum wage came out in 2021. Wow, that's really sucky. Well, Democrats in control of both the House and Senate. 8 Democrats in the House opposed it, while 3 Republicans supported it. The bill failed to pass in the Senate because 7 Democrats and 1 independent joined Republicans to block it. AOC has no business blaming Republicans with Democrats in control of both chambers. Like I said, nice to look at, but just stupid to listen to. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not. This one kind of disturbs me greatly because, well, I know it. I've been there. I've done that. And if there's any place that you should not have woke propaganda and woke mindset and woke anything, it is most definitely the United States Marine Corps in any way, shape, or form. Sound guy, you weren't Marine. No. You were not a Marine there, sound guy. No. So anyway, released academic report from the University of Pittsburgh recommended the U.S. Marine Corps drop the words "sir" and "ma'am" used to address senior officers and to avoid misgendering. And drill instructors, despite there being only 14,000 females in the Marine Corps, which makes up only 7% of the branch, instead of using the words "sir" and "ma'am," recruits in the military service refer to drill instructors by using their ranks or roles followed by their last names. I can tell you for a fact, folks, if you refer to drill instructors anything but "sir" in boot camp, you're going to get, yeah, dude. Yeah, you're just going to get it, okay? Trust me on that one. If you refer to a drill instructor as anything other than "sir" or "ma'am," if it's a female drill instructor, you're just going to get severely, yes. Insanely amount of yes. Anyway, so the 738-page report highlights a $2 million study, wasted money, that was conducted to examine gender-integrated recruit training, which claimed that the change would make both genders feel more comfortable when being addressed by their peers. Got bad news for you there, eco geek creative green weedy just that's not how the Marine Corps works. Okay, you're not supposed to be comfortable when you're doing anything in the service. You are supposed to be on your toes, doing stuff correctly, just all the time. Okay, you're supposed to be giving absolute attention to stuff, micromanaging yourself to the best of ability, supporting all your fellows and all the rest of that good stuff, doing it correctly all the time. Semper Fi, Marines, carry on. Quote, according to the Marine Corps Times, Colonel Howard Hall, Chief of Staff of Marine Corps Training and Education Command, expressed several concerns. Gee, do you think? Yeah. Quote, that's going to take some effort, Hall said, adding, quote, honestly, that's not a quick fix. What it's inculcating in our young recruits that will or will not be reinforced when they graduate and enter force Marine Con. Hang on a second. Let me try that again. That's going to take some effort. Honestly, that's not a quick fix. What it is inculcating in our young recruits that will or will not be reinforced when they graduate and enter Fleet Marine Force. So again, we want to try to avoid any quick fix solutions that introduce perturbations down the line. That was actually him positing it as a question. Hall also argued a sudden change in the service members create unnecessary confusion and inconsistency. Gee, do you think? Just give me 1 second here. All of a sudden, we change something at recruit training and recruits start coming in and using different identifier. It's not something we would change overnight, Hall said, adding, again, we got a history of saying, sir, ma'am, sir, ma'am. If we change something at root level, how do we not make the corresponding change at Fleet Marine Force? So it's not ours to implement alone. That's going to be something that's just. Yipes. It's wow. By teaching recruits to use gender-neutral identifiers for their drill instructors, services underscore the importance of respecting authoritative figures, regardless of gender. No. That's pretty much what happens at boot camp, and going in the Fleet Marines and all the rest of that stuff. Is you learn to respect your authority figures, because if you don't, you're just gonna get your ass handed to you. Indeedly, indeedly, you're gonna get yeah, 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 yeah. You're gonna get chomped on. Okay, that's just all there is to it. It's not gonna be like, oh, he misidentified, Sergeant so and so. Wow. Mm. Patriot Fever Arlie is rolling over in his grave. Yeah, he is. I'm sure he's probably screaming, "What is your major malfunction?" Wow. Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Uh, this one I find rather interesting. Did the Twitter files just reveal an impeachable offense for, well, you know him, you love him. We're talking about nobody but, uh, yeah, the presidents, uh, president, president, yeah, president. This one coming in truthpress.com. Latest installment of Twitter Fires dropped on Monday afternoon, this time showing how the federal government pressured the social media platform to censor the information that was contradictory with the government narrative on the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. New files show top doctors in the best medical schools in the country were censored. Okay, because you got to be really, really careful, because if you start talking about it too much, you might actually have to deal with, well, the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. Fact check. Yeah, and they'll put that little box above you to say, "Hey, man, you're now guilty of." Fact check. That's right. You should have claimed appropriate status by not using or stating or even talking about anything Chinese Communist covert viral infection related, because you're not going to have to deal with that. Check. Yeah. So anyway, a physician was permanently suspended from Twitter after receiving multiple strikes for misinformation. Remember, I was talking about having to deal with the check. Yeah, one of his strikes was a treat, referring to the results of a peer-reviewed study on well, how do I say this without saying it? Yeah, that stuff. Let's see. So basically, this person got hosed. Government pressure on Twitter goes beyond attempting to push a single narrative. It's a blatant violation of the First Amendment. More specifically, President Kaka was angry Twitter wasn't doing more to crack down on speech that was critical of his office and policies. There's more about Joe Kaka. Stand by on that one. It gets very, very interesting. The raging paranoia that, well, Kaka has. No. He's more like, yes, he's more like that. There's no. Joe Kaka is more like, yes. Okay. Anyway, scrolling. So essentially what it is the doctors had different versions of treatment options about the the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. Yeah. Speaking about that, this gets very, very interesting. Yes. The Supreme Court ruled 5-4 Tuesday to keep the limit about the how do I say this without saying this? The Chinese Communist covert viral infection. Title 42, if you know what that's about. Yeah. People who haven't tested negative or positive for the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. It's in place now indefinitely, which allows officials to turn away migrants at the border to prevent the spread of the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. Especially because they probably haven't had the no, and they really haven't been dealing with the the apparent therein of the Chinese Communist covert viral infection. Fact check. Yeah. Now, there is people that really, truly, they just do stuff. And when they do stuff, they're just really, really funny in the process when they do stuff. Dentures McVotska also known as Nancy Pelosi. I swear, every time you see that chick, you swear she's like half lit. I just got a bottle of vodka to this election here, just in case. It's going to take it out, Joe. All right, now I'm ready to do the vote. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But anyway, there's no other way to say it. But Nancy Pelosi is comedy gold. This one coming in from DailyWire.com. There's no other way to say it other than to say it, but Nan. Oh, Nan. If you really wanted to piss off the homies, I think you succeeded. And this is kind of a niche thing because most people really don't practice Kwanzaa, but it is out there, okay? I'm not going to bust it one way or the other. Personally, I really, truly don't care. I mean, if you want to do the foo-foo stuff in one religion or another, have a blast. I really, truly don't care what you do for the holidays. There's no skin off my nose, and I really, truly do not care. But anyway, so what did Nan do? She instead of Kwanzaa, instead of having like a cheat sheet in front of her, so she didn't booger it up. Oh, my stars and garters. It should have been Kwanzaa, right? Kwanzaa. Not a really common word, but not a hard word, okay? Kwanzaa. It's basically like a celebration, African themed, what have you. You know, even the Africans would probably be familiar with the phrase Kwanzaa. Nan, well, she wished everybody a happy Schwanzaa. What? Did you say you were talking about the Atzes? Which is it's a Yiddish phrase for referring to African Americans, and it's really not diminutive. It's kind of more just like, you know, the phrase they're in. But to use the proper phrase in German would be Schwarz. Schwarz is black. Schwarze is the Yiddish form of derivative of Schwarz, but if you look at Yiddish, it's kind of like Hebrewized Germanic speaking. So essentially, if you were to call somebody Schwarze, you were just simply saying, oh, it's that black guy over there. You know, it's really not namesake or utilized much anymore. It's like kind of like the old Jewish guys used to always use it. I'd hear it as a kid. And it's like, oh, yeah, the Schwarze so-and-so. You know, it's like, it wasn't like they were saying, you know, this guy is diminutive N-word. It's like, oh, we were just talking about that black guy. You know, the non-Jew happens to be black. You know, obviously, you know, the Gentiles would be Gentiles. You know, the white women who are, you know, kind of slutty that we call shiksas. You know, there's other words. There's many descriptive terms in Yiddish. Trust me. Anyway, so she referred to them as, you know, happy Schwanzaa. Now, was she saying like getting influence from the, you know, the Yiddish side of things and try to say Schwanzaa, or she just didn't know the words and was just completely screwing it up? But I've never heard a black person go, yeah, man, I'm going to be practicing Schwanzaa. But she did it. And she really probably pissed off some people going, that woman said, what? I'm sure they were probably saying more than they're more like that. She called us a what? That dirty little. Yeah, I'm sure it got very interesting very quickly for some people. But anyway, outgoing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi drew social media mockery Friday after wishing a quote-unquote happy Schwanzaa, presumably to celebrate Kwanzaa, in her remarks following passage of the omnibus spending bill. What Pelosi would be her last speech as a speaker, she botched the name of the holiday, established in 1966 and celebrated by many African Americans. The 82-year-old California Democrat is poised to relinquish her gavel after Republicans took the House majority in November. I yield back the balance of my time and wish everybody a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. Safe New Year. She said, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Schwanzaa, happy Hanukkah. Oh, I'd love to get the sound bite of that. Oh, wait a minute. Is there a sound bite of that? I think there might be. Let's see if I can't cheat it on here real fast. Let's see if it'll play. Hang on a second here. Why is that not playing? Hang on a second here. That should be playing. Happy holidays. There we go. Hey. Stop that. Stop that. Let's see if we can't get it to play here real fast. I'm cheating it on my tablet.
Bipartisan, I vote yield back the balance of my time and wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever it is you celebrate, be safe. Thank you, Mr.
I might just have to grab that soundbite just to be a, snarky person that I am. It's like, Nancy Pelosi, happy Schwanza. Oh, man. And she actually did it in her last speech. What a silly. Yes. What a silly. Yes. Yeah. What a silly. Yipes. Happy Schwanza. I might have to grab that as a soundbite just for the fun of it. Nancy Pelosi, happy Schwanza. That's funny. This one I think is very illustrative of ground level enforcement and stopping those people who do those things that you do not agree with. Oh, Logan Ray, appreciate you coming by, dude. I didn't see you in the room. Appreciate you coming by, brother. So anyway, what happened is that the school board was so culturally bereft of common sense that the parents are like, oh, hell no. And they were like, you know what? We're going to fix this thing right now, hardcore. Yeah. So anyway, DailyWire.com, California School Board, the new school board, they literally were trying to get school meetings, the school board meetings, and they were like, yeah, just be quiet, shut up, sit down, whatever. And they're like, you know what? You're not listening to us. You're teaching our kids critical race theory. You're teaching our kids countercultural stuff. You're doing things that we do not agree with. And you think that you're unapproachable. You think that you're unstoppable. You think that there's no way in the world that you could do anything and we can't, answer you back in kind saying we do not agree with these things. So literally what happened is people ran for the school board and got those positions. So the California School Board has just now banned schools from teaching critical race theory in the first meeting after being sworn in. They told them to stop doing it, okay? And they said, look, just teach our kids, the 4 R's. Don't give them all the rest of this horse crap. Teach them properly, and you will do much better. So, in a 3-2 vote, the Temecula Valley Unified School District in Southern California voted to ban schools from teaching CRT. The vote came at the end of a marathon session on Tuesday night that ran into the wee hours of Wednesday morning. A new conservative majority has been sworn in at the beginning of the meeting. Wow. Quote, the TVUSD desires to uplift and unite students by not imposing the responsibility of historical transgression of the past. Instead, we engage students with the cultures of age-appropriate critical thinking to help students navigate the past, future, and present, the resolution stating CRT stated. The school board's resolution made clear that teachers are not required to violate state, local, federal law and maintains they adhere to the curriculum adopted by the board as a primary source for the context of instruction. The resolution also states the board respects diversity. Yeah, but the board also explicitly condemns CRT as a racist ideology all of itself. So that didn't fly. Local school in a litter box for 7th grade boy says a female cat happened to that. Oh, jeez. All right, I just want to see that kid basically hanging it over and just deciding, well, you know what? Kitty's got to go. Yes, Kitty's got to go. Oh, Kitty's having a problem. Yeah, kitty, kitty, stop that. Oh, bad cat. Bad. That was a naughty kitty there. Yuck. But I can tell you for a fact, anytime my cats are unloading and I happen to be downrange, ew, and more ew. It's just not good. Let's see. Scrolly. Yeah, that is distinctly not fun to be around. And I begin to tell you, in short form, it's just yeah, bad. Just bad. Okay, bad, really bad. Hang on a second here. Let me do something real fast. All right. Cats in a litter box in the classroom.
Whoa! It's spicy.
I don't know if I would say it's spicy, but it's pretty bad. It's really just.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's definitely that right there. It is most definitely not.
It's spicy.
It is not spicy. It's just.
Whoa!
It's that. It is not the second part. This I find extremely interesting. Maybe some strife going on in, good old jolly old Russia. This one coming in from TruthRest.com. A top former Russian general died suddenly on Christmas Day. Wonder if there may have been a little bit of, I don't know, just a little bit of, possibly. I don't know, man. You never know what could be going on in jolly old Russia because, well, it could be. Yeah, it could have been that. Okay. Yeah, dude's going down. Yeah. All right. A former commander of the Russian ground forces with close ties to Ukraine died, quote unquote, suddenly the day after Vladimir Putin abruptly canceled a trip to the tank enterprise where he worked as an international sales ambassador. Alexei Maslov, 69, passed away on Christmas Day in a Moscow military hospital. That's one of these long-ass Russian words. The Euro Vagon Zavod. Euro Vagon Zavoid plant announced. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that one, but some Russian words are yipes. From 2008, acted as the Russian chief military representative to NATO, the RBC reported. As Maslov follows the sudden death of Alexander Buzakov, 65, a general director of the Admiralty shipyards in St. Petersburg, in charge of building new submarines. The FSB security service has formed a, quote, investigative group into the two deaths, reported Telegram channel redacted number 6. It sounds sketch, folks. Buzakov had been healthy the day before he died. Nothing had been heard from Maslov's health problems before he died, said the channel. Maslov had been a commander-in-chief of the Russian ground forces between 2004 and 2008 in NATO in Brussels. He'd worked alongside Dmitry Rogozin, an official close to Putin, who was abruptly removed in the summer as the head of the Russian space agency, Roscosmos. Putin was due to fly to the Eurovagos plant in Nevsky Tagil, which had been criticized by the Kremlin for failing to produce sufficient new tanks for the war in Ukraine. Yeah. However, the Russian president aborted the Christmas trip even at the last minute with no explanations, according to local reports. Maybe this general is just getting ready to just cap his ass. I don't know, man. But I think probably what it is, it's a bad case of Russianitis. Yeah, it just yeah. Rogozin, recovering in a hospital from injury in Ukraine shell attack last week, praised Maslov as a very experienced military man, a demanding commander, and a good person. Buzakov's death was described as sudden, untimely, and tragic. Sound guy, I think he's dead enough. Stop. Pedro Fever. Translation, Putin was almost caught with his pants down. Yeah. Supposedly a regional politician and sausage tycoon known to Russians, top earning elected representative Pavel Antov, 65, fell to his death from a window in an Indian hotel in another case that has aroused suspicion. Yeah, Putin basically is wiping out those guys that might be prospectively seeing him as, like, maybe not the healthiest, and possibly get rid of crap out and what? Oh yeah, I think probably that he's seeing these guys as potentially somebody that could come in there and take over, and he's just looking at them and going, you know what, just
you dick.
yeah, it's just easier for him to clean house and. Okay. Anti-war channel Garod Glipov, with more than 240,000 subscribers, described the deaths as incomprehensible. It's claimed as brutal process of, quote, cleansing, unquote, to wipe out unwanted people was underway. Russia was in a season of accidental window falls, unexpected deaths, and regular fires, it stated sarcastically. Yeah, it's sketch, and Putin's wiping out those guys he thinks might be suspiciously taking over things, and maybe wiping him out, and it might be like he's settling a coup. That might be what it is. This one, it's if you guys have seen anything going on with the air travel right now, it's been completely jacked up. Southwest has been 75% of the canceled flights, and their old style of doing stuff is probably going the way of the dodo, and they're going to have to adapt to an improved system because people are pissed. Truthpress.com, leaked Southwest memo reveals, quote, state of operational emergency before Christmas storm. So, translation, they knew it was coming, and they knocked off 62% of their flights, plus 58% on Thursday, according to FlightAware data. Yikes. Analysts describe Southwest meltdown this week as the most significant operational breakdown in its 5-decade history. Quote, this is the worst round of cancellations for any single airline I can recall in a career of more than 20 years as an industry analyst. Henry Hartfeld, who covers airlines for Atmosphere Research Group, told the New York Times. Southwest Chief Executive Officer Bob Jordan apologized Tuesday evening for an operational mishap. He said, quote, our plan for the next few days is to fly a reduced schedule and reposition our people and planes. We're optimistic to be back on track before next week, Jordan explained. Yikes. They got airports where they have the air staff literally sleeping out in the open. Just say, look, hey, just give us a flight. We'll fly back home. We don't care. Book everybody on the thing, rock and roll, this, that, and the other thing. Get everybody up in the air. We'll make it work. Patriot Fever. Sound guy needs to go back and basic. Those clearly weren't AK-47 rounds. Doesn't think that AK has a 3-round burst. Well, it's not like they can't get a hold of other people's guns, okay? It's just, sound guy, stop. Are you done? Now he's just playing, okay? Stop. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. I got a bunch of news stories, but you know what? Patriot Fever, you didn't catch Sound Guy doing, I can only describe it as karaoke in its worst form, but you didn't catch Sound Guy doing Rocket Man. There's only one thing I can think of is after we do this, there's only one way to fix this, and
I say we take off and nuke the entire bitch from orbit.
That's the only thing that can cleanse this. Remember, Patriot Fever, you asked for this. You asked for Rocket Man. Pontius Pilate, I wash my hands. You asked for that, okay? Remember, you asked for Rocket Man. Yipes. Shade, the classic made even better. Oh, don't encourage him, man. Patriot Fever, I need fresh drawers now. Wow. All right, this one coming in, truthpress.com. The DOJ has filed a lawsuit against one of the largest pharma corporations in the United States. So, what do you think that they're actually going to be going after them for? Would you think maybe it would be something like, oh, I don't know, like maybe the Chinese Communist COVID virus infection? Oh, no. That would be too easy. No, they're not going over and going after them and chasing them down and pinning them down and giving them what fur and what that was supposed to way to them harder. No, but the Department of Justice is now suing a pharmacological giant, America Source Bergen, and accusing it with fueling the opioid crisis by allegedly failing to report suspicious orders of drugs for years. In a civil complaint, federal prosecutors wrote Thursday that America Source Bergen violated federal laws that require opioid manufacturers to alert the DEA, or the Drug Enforcement Administration, to any suspicious orders. You know, these guys out in nowhere via Stan, they really seem to be using a lot of king drugs. Yeah. So anyway, in the civil complaint, they wrote to any suspicious orders. Pharmaceutical companies under the law were also required to block shipments of orders they deemed suspicious. It said that America Source Bergen and two of the subsidiaries since 2014 had systematically refused or negligently failed to flag suspicious orders by pharmacy customers when it had reason to know that the opioids were being diverted to illegal channels. What are you going on about? Anyway, the lawsuit also seeks penalties that could reach billions of dollars and an injunction against federal future violations by the Federal Controlled Substances Act. You know, the thing that really sucks is those people who are chronically just absolutely screwed have no way to find themselves any way to find any relief after. What are you doing? Stop. Just stop, okay? Stop. You done? No, I got the stop button. I got the stop button. Stop with the crickets. So anyway, basically, the company's repeated a systemic failure to fulfill the simple obligation to help ignite an opioid epidemic that's resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths over the past decade. Okay, so you're going after these guys for making opiates and selling opiates to pharmacy guys, but you're not going to stop anybody from charging across the southern border with fentanyl, which is 4,000 times as deadly. Yeah. You bunch of
Juggling thunder.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can say on that one. Let me try the other one.
Juggling thunder.
I think I like that one a little better. Yeah, you peacock juggling thunder meows. Between 1999 and 2000, some 564,000 people died from opioid-involved overdose. Okay, let's just do the math. That's 10, 11 years right there, okay? We're losing 91,000 people per year with fentanyl. Do the math, folks. You're going to crack that number in like no time at all. Plus, it's only getting worse.
Ouch, that really hurt.
Okay. They kept shipping drugs to pharmacies in West Virginia and Florida after being told by an auditor the drugs likely being sold in parking lots for cash. They're going to get fined like crazy. The government's going to get a bunch of money. We'll never see any of it. And that's the thing that really, truly pisses me off about these federal fines and whatnot is anytime the government sticks somebody, some corporation, some entity or some such, to get all this cash in, we don't see a dime. The federal government goes, you've been held to task. I got to do Thor's hammer. You've been held to task. We've made you pay, Thor's hammer. We've made you pay. Yeah, justice has been served. What about the people that died? Did you give any recompense to those families, or make any kind of awards therein to those families who suffered wrongful deaths because of the opioid invasion? Yeah, whatever. This one I'm gonna have to be really, really careful about how I say it, or I can find myself dealing with a bad case of the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. Fact check.
Yeah, I'll be dealing with a case of, hey, you're talking about it too much, and we have to fix you. We got to give you.
Fact check.
Yeah. Let's just say that the how do I say this without saying this? The boo stir has had a study, and it says it leads to more deaths. This one coming on truthforus.com. And it said essentially that, amid thousands of papers talking about, the Chinese Communist covert viral infection and the a new German paper published in Science Immunology should be a headline story this week. Although the subject matter is very dense, the implication of it is that the P Pfizer and possibly other R N A cause the immune system to misfire, and I got to be really, really careful so I don't get stuck with the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection. Fact check.
causing an endless feedback loop of a viral immune escape, perpetuating the
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
demic in the macro and creating immune suppression for individuals who received them. The vexing question in 2022 is, why is the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
even still with us this day? Why is it that so many countries in the Pacific Rim that did so well in 2021 now have a bigger problem in 2022 with even less nasty versions of the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
and I'm changing some words there. It does appear that the planned
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
dem
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
will never end, and so many people continue to get the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
multiple times. None of this is normal. Wherever you turn, the most, people have had the most countries are not only experiencing rampant side effects from the but worse outcomes from the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
following the endless campaigns. But even more telling is the epidemiological comparison of one nation to another is a comparison of outcomes within nations themselves within between pre and post and every other form of boo stir campaign. Prior to mass, two parts of the world largely escaped the excess deaths from the
Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
continental Africa and the Pacific Rim nations, whereas Africa flatlined in terms of, Chinese Communist covert viral infection deaths throughout 2021 and 2022. Countries like Japan only experienced meaningful numbers of deaths after the mass program. Here's a chart of the daily Chinese Communist covert viral infection deaths per million in Japan, a country that is super and wears the mask a lot. And you just see the number going. Notice how Japan is now experiencing progressively worse death curves, which only began after everyone, particularly seniors, was giving the
Shot.
and even though, oh my God, a cron is less pathogenic than earlier strains, Japan is also a current world leader in cases per million. In contrast, these two countries to Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa, one would assert that the unknown factors of why Africans appear not to die from the Chinese Communist cover viral infection compared to the high death rates in North America, South America, and Europe. However, the Pacific Rim countries like Japan and Australia seem to enjoy almost as low a death rate prior to the
Shot.
campaign. After that point, Nigeria and the rest of Africa now seem to flatline and is done with the flow. Little booger.
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
As we typically expect by now, while other countries incurred skyrocketing cases and relatively massive spikes in deaths, obviously Nigeria is...
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
No, wrong one.
Shot.
That one. Rate is much lower than these other countries, but even there
Shot.
is almost non-existent. Even within Europe, Scandinavian countries like Norway largely escaped the massive death curve following the first 2 years of the
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
that all changed in 2022. Norway now has the highest
The Chinese Communist COVID viral infection.
death rate per million in the world. Yipes. So they say that Norway is starting to rival us in terms of death curves. However, U.S. is a much unhealthier country. Yes, says you. And Americans experience the death curves with much more nasty versions. And if you track the numbers of the
Shot.
given per 100 people in some of the aforementioned countries, you see that the current death curves track almost perfectly in a positive correlation. So, I would say if you ever really, truly was thinking about it, don't do it. Eh. Yipes. If you ever really want to get the nasty stuff, you're getting the...
Shot.
Yeah, yipes. Supposedly, the January 6th committee has formally withdrawn the Trump subpoena. Is a separation of powers, folks. He didn't even need to listen to them. He didn't need to come. He didn't need to go. He really, truly just could have pretty much said, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Yeah, not doing it. Okay, going back to her farter, also known as S. Hitler. And, you could say that as, the naughty 4-letter S word. S. Hitler does it again. Yes, we're talking about Whoopi Goldberg. Well, fans for The View want Whoopi Goldberg replaced by the former host, Rosie O'Donnell. Conservative News Brief, or conservativebrief.com. Some fans of ABC's View want co-host Whoopi Goldberg replaced by the infamous ex-host after she made a slew of offensive comments on the Holocaust. Reddit user created a thread and platform about the controversy, entitled it, "If Whoopi's fired, who should they bring back? Rosie?" Whoopi, who I love, once again said something really dumb, and ABC has to be angry. If she's fired, they should get Rosie O'Donnell back in the mod. She was good TV, in my opinion. Ouch. Rosie O'Donnell's not that much better. I mean, she's still obnoxiously, usually leftist. Just she does stupid stuff too. There's no other way around it. Donna Rosie, appreciate you coming by, dude. Yipes. I'm gonna piss off everybody at the editing board on YouTube, probably on this one, but this one, conservativebrief.com. The DeSantis admin expanding probes into the drag queen Christmas shows. The administration of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has expanded investigations of drag queen shows throughout the state during recent holidays, following reports that many of them inappropriately and potentially illegally took place with underage children present. Yipes. And that's really all I need to say about that one. Wow. I mean, men doing this with children around is just plain wrong. Okay. Yeah, it's just wrong. This one I find eminently refreshing to find out that yes, people are not spending their hard-won dollars on supporting woke agenda. Hollywood is now reeling, and this is on conservativebrief.com. Hollywood is reeling after a $500 billion market value loss in 2022. While the entertainment industry managed to score some major successes throughout 2022, overall, Hollywood experienced a very bad year and much worse than many other industries. According to reports, the entertainment industry lost more than $500 billion in market value last year, thanks in large part to a string of overrated, underwatched films. Quote, major studios, streamers, cable providers, and other media giants lost a combined $542 billion in market value in 2022, with left-wing studios, the Walt Disney Company, Netflix, and Comcast accounting for the bulk of the bloodshed, Breitbart News reported, citing the Financial Times. The Dow Jones Media Titans Index, which tracks the performance of 30 of the world's biggest media companies, shed 40% this year, with total market value declining from 1.35 trillion to 808 billion, Breitbart News further reported. The total losses for the entertainment industry were greater than other sectors of the economy, including banking, which fell about 14.5% over the year, including telecommunications, which dropped about 11.2% in value. Hollywood's horrible year was a result of a 1-2 punch of a downturn in the streaming market, coupled with consumers continuing to cut the cord by the millions. In addition, the advertising market has cratered as thousands of households cut spending as the cost of essentials like food and energy continue to skyrocket due to President Joe Kaka's disastrous economic policies. The outlook added, woke companies paid the highest price last year. The Walt Disney Company suffered the biggest fallouts, losing market value and market share thanks to plummeting stock prices. Breitbart noted Disney, whose stock is on the course for the worst year since 1974, spent 1974. Let's see what happened during it. Oh, that's right. Jimmy Carter was in office. Yet another Democrat president who cratered the United States economy. Spent 2022 embracing radical LGBTQ activism and waging a calamitous political war with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over the state's anti-grooming parental rights and education law. Netflix experienced an unprecedented 2 consecutive quarters of subscriber losses this year, which resulted in layoffs and cost cutting across the board. For the year, the stock is down more than 50%. You know, I might wait for that stock to go down just a little bit more, and I might buy some Disney stock, because after that, it's got nowhere to go but back up again. When they realize, don't act like tools. Dawn and Rosie O'Donnell, tell him to get Rosie, too easy. Get him something hard. Dawn of the Dead sniper scene? What? Or are you trying to tell Dawn and Rosie, are you trying to tell me to get sound bites of Rosie O'Donnell? Oh. Yeah, sound guy. Yes, exactly. That's just gonna be no, don't play that one, sound guy. Do not play that one. Oh.
But I pooped from there.
What? No.
But I pooped from there.
Dude, no. Other side of the aisle. She's a lesbian. Okay, let me try to explain this to sound guy in the easiest way possible. Short line, sound guy, she likes. Okay? She likes that. That's the one that she likes, okay? She's not into how do I say this without saying this? She's into that. Not this.
Dick.
No, she wants the first one, not
Dick.
Got it? Okay. Bring back Barbara Walters. Wow. Logan, Barbara Walters just attained dirt nap status. Yipes. Oh, ouch. Ouch.
What?
Oh, wow. Recently, DeSantis pushed back on Iger as well after the entertainment chief reflected on the conflict between the Sunshine State Republicans and the media behemoth. DeSantis, who won the re-election last week in a landslide, responded in a video clip to Iger during appearance on Fox News host Tucker Carlson's program, in which Bob Iger, or former tenure, recently claimed that the Iger said the tumultuous tenure of former CEO Bob Chapek claimed that Disney was quote unquote dragged into the fight with DeSantis in the GOP legislature over the parental rights and education law. Quote, I was sorry to see us dragged into that battle. I have no idea exactly what the ramifications are in terms of business itself, Iger said during a town hall event with the Disney staffers. Wow. DeSantis was quick to respond. It wasn't him or the GOP-controlled legislature to pick the fight with Disney, but actually it was the other way around. We didn't drag them in, Tucker. They went their own way on their own and not only opposed the bill, they threatened to get it repealed. Yipes. These are parents' rights and importance policies in our state that are very popular, and so they brought this on themselves. All we did was stand up for what's right, and yes, they're a big, powerful company, and you know what? We stand up for our folks. I don't care what a Burbank-based California company says about our laws. These guys, they really, truly just need to learn when to shut up, and they pretty much drug themselves in. Yipe. This I find very, very interesting, and Representative Bob Good slams Kevin McCarthy. This is going to be like one of a couple about him. I will not support him for Speaker, the DC Inquirer. And I can say most empathetically, there was no red wave because the RNC is not seen as an alternative to the DC swamp monsters. If you guys are a bunch of rhino guys and, you're like McConnell.
You dick.
Yeah, thanks, sound guy. You're not an alternative to the Democrats. You're not, okay? So I said most empathetically, when I was doing my, Gab update things, we need somebody, not a politician. Anybody could be a speaker. Anybody. So McCarthy officially loses the first round of the speaker votes. I think he lost the second round of the speaker votes. And he's going to have a hard road to hoe to try to get in as being, House Speaker for, the Congress. It's going to be really, really hard. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not, but supposedly, I'm going to get his name, Damar Hamlin. He took a hit when he was playing football and didn't look like it was that hard a hit. But I you know what? The way he went down and, of course, the problems he was having, he actually needed to be resuscitated. Literally, they had to bring the paddles out to shock him, doing CPR and all the rest of it. I'm almost wondering if it wasn't the Yeah. So like I say, I'm not a sports fan, but that was a hard hit. But this is really unusual for pro ball to see somebody fall down in full arrest. That is really, really unusual. Seeing somebody else is basically taking a hit to the chest and not done so good. Will Smith, this is coming from the DCinquirer.com. Will Smith is very upset that his new movie has bombed at the box office. But he's distraught that his new movie, Emancipation, is bombing at the box office. I don't know, dude. After you smack Chris Rock, a lot of people are really not happy with you. I think your box office poison right now, and it's not going to be doing very, very good. Okay? Let's just be very, very honest here. This one cracked me up. I'm going to jump back again to Kevin McCarthy. But supposedly, at least somebody is honest about it. But Representative Lauren Boebert, Representative of Colorado, muttered, "This is bull," under her breath during a House GOP conference on Tuesday regarding House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's bid for speakership. So supposedly, at least somebody's being honest about it. Wow. This one, of course, being Netflix gets fakaka-dutied. I'm trying to be clean here, but Netflix has just been hammered by a nightmare report. This one, of course, coming in PJ's newsletter. In a decade wipeout, they just experienced a crushing loss in market value in 2022. 2022 is a rough year for markets, the entertainment industry. Disney's well-documented fall from grace. Stock lost 42% and replaced by a CEO. Much Hollywood suffered year-end reports, too. One of the biggest entertainment providers in the world has had a historically bad year. Net for cock-a-doodie. They just got hit harder than Disney. Netflix has lost over. The Nasdaq's lost over 30%. Let me go down here. Netflix is closing out its worst year in more than a decade, with its stock plummeting more than 50% and wiping out a staggering $136 billion in market value. For 2022, Netflix shares dropped 50.6%, the most the stock has declined on an annual basis since 2011. For the first time, the once invincible company has lost subscribers for 2 consecutive quarters, ushering in a period of painful belt-tightening that has included several hundred layoffs. Okay, several hundred people is not $133 billion, guys. That's not going to fix the problem. If one glances at recent Netflix original movies, those that are often recommended, especially over the holidays, many will agree that they were a woke agenda front and center. It's so prominent that many Americans have simply abandoned the platform entirely. That's one reason why, for the first time ever, Netflix lost subscribers for 2 quarters in a row. It got so bad, the company had a break promise, never have commercials. They launched an ad-supported tier in order to combat its falling subscriber numbers. Well, if you pop a commercial on me and Netflix, I'm leaving. Unfortunately, even that tactic doesn't appear to be working. Breitbart News reports the new tier only accounted for only 9% of the new signups in its first month, and Netflix actually had to return money to advertisers for failing to meet projected numbers. Yeah, it's just part of a stunning drop in overall entertainment numbers for 2022. Industry lost over $500 billion. This, that, the other thing. It's not doing good to be woke, okay? Stop it. And I got to jump over here yet again to, well, you know him, you love him. Oh, we have to talk about President. Yeah. So supposedly he's not losing it, folks. No, he's not. He's not. From the Daily Wire, President Joe Kaka has reportedly become enraged when he was stumbled across reminders of former President Donald Trump inside the White House. Biden reportedly has such a strong distaste for Trump that he opposes using things the former president used, the book said. He's also reportedly paranoid that the Secret Service personnel were loyal to the White House, Secret Service personnel were loyal to Trump. Joe Kaka might be a little bit paranoid. Wow.
It's spicy.
I don't know about spicy, but Pete Buttigieg, dude, you said that you could be a presidential candidate, but you're incompetent, okay? Let's just call it what it is. You're bloody dang incompetent. Now the rising star's Democrat career is in serious jeopardy. Gee, do you think?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Many people will agree, Americans will agree that Biden's team is made up of losers. Most of the people he's hired to run the country and political allies are people to whom he owed favors. Painfully few of them have qualified for the jobs they were given, and most of the country suffered because of it. One staffer in particular wins the prize of the biggest loser. He let the country down on numerous times. In fact, he was MIA on several occasions when critical problems were hurt Americans from coast to coast. It's gotten so bad that even his own party is turning on him. From just the news. When he joined the president, Joe Biden's cabinet 2 years ago as transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg had a pedigree of a rising progressive star. But today, his stewardship of the transportation department amid the twin 2022 crises of supply chain shortages and airline debacles have tarnished the once rising star. Okay, he was not that much of a rising star, folks. He really didn't get that much of a vote. And it could be said that, well, people chose different people to vote for in terms of being president. Even, well, other people other than him. Prominent Democrat strategist Nina Turner even went so far to suggest last week that Buttigieg was a, quote, prime example of failing up. Yeah, he was given a sweet job as head of the department after he dropped out of 2024 Democrat primaries, helped Joe Biden win. But the man whose mayoral administration was hammered by federal investigations was hardly a great leader at the DOT. Clearly, Buttigieg thought it'd be a cakewalk running the DOT, but he just sat back and let the department run itself. Obviously, he wasn't expected to do actual work, but that's why he's out of the office as the supply chain broke down and hundreds of cargo ships were stuck at sea. And that's why he was also out of the country as a critical train dispute threatened to shut down our economy for good. And that's why we failed to handle the massive airline cancellations over the holidays, even though we knew about it back in August. He's such a failure that even other leftists are turning on him. He was such a prime candidate in the White House that Joe Biden, not even his status as a member of the LGBT community was enough to save him. His pathetic failures have outraged even Democrats as congressmen are calling him into question. In reality, he should have been fired over 2 years ago, but Biden refuses, forcing us to ask just what's he thinking? Is Biden really running the administration, or is he out to lunch as well? Yeah, I think we got the answer on that one. And the other thing, too, is we've got to watch out because, well, who's the alternative? Well, if he's out, who do we have? Kamala Harris, and she's she's busy. Kamala Harris is busy. Wow. You know, maybe the Democrats do have a spine. This one coming in also from DC Inquirer. House Republicans vow vengeance after the GOP senators vote for the omnibus bill. I don't know. But, you know, Chip Roy, Andy Biggs, and Matt Gaetz outlined the dangers of the $1.7 trillion bill. Democrats forced through the legislation for the start of the Congress. The Republican caucus wouldn't be able to outline the fiscal budget in 2023. House Republicans have to make that message clear to Republican senators in a letter. However, it seemingly fell on deaf ears. Quote, we urge you to take all steps necessary to stop the soon-to-be finalized omnibus bill. Negotiate with Democrats let it begin. At the very least, due respect for Americans elected as call for not passing the lame duck spending bill just days before the members fly home for Christmas. 2 weeks for the new majority is sworn in for the 118th Congress. Senate Republicans have 41 votes necessary to stop this. You do so now. Show the Americans who elected you they weren't wrong in doing so. Yeah, but what's going to happen is they pretty much told the Senate guys, if you do this, get ready to have us basically slam you every chance possible. Patriot Fever. I'd be scared to sit next to the secretary. Wouldn't want to sit next to that chair either. Oh, wow. Okay. Looking over here, the stuff that they're hiding. This one's very, very interesting. I bet you guys didn't hear about this one. This one's coming in from conservativebrief.com. But the Virgin Islands Attorney General was fired after filing a lawsuit in an Epstein trafficking case against J.P. Morgan. Interesting. The Attorney General in the U.S. Virgin Islands has been unexpectedly dismissed from her position for the territorial governor, by the territorial governor, after she filed a lawsuit against banking giant J.P. Morgan Chase, alleging the financial institution covered up the convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operations. Interesting. Why did she get fired? Interesting. I can tell you, there's a couple more stories I got here, but I got something really quick. Breitbart.com. If you're trying to buy a house in Canada anytime soon, and you're American, don't bother. Canada has just enacted a temporary ban on foreign home buyers to curb prices. Why does that sound like the dog always getting wagged by the tail? As of January 1, Canadian government has enacted a 2-year ban on foreign nationals purchasing residential properties in an effort to stem rising housing costs. Yeah, because every American is going, I really want to buy a house in Canada and just push their prices up. This one I find kind of interesting, but supposedly, Kevin McCarthy supposedly is acting like a conservative. Stuns Biden in a day one action. He claims the first thing we'll do is ditch those 87,000 IRS agents. Remains to be seen. I'm more than a little bit tired of the constant Trump drum beating, but supposedly Trump prepares a major 2023 announcement. The former president might finally return to Facebook. Big whoop. Big whoop. I mean, just... Are they really going to care that he's back? Oh, he's back on Facebook. No. No, I don't think it's going to matter at all. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be eh. This is what I find very, very interesting. You like dumb a couple more stories, I think, here, but this one coming in Amaland.com. Supposedly, well, I could really use a good here. Yeah, supposedly. A couple of Russian guys faced off against a polar bear, and well, the polar bear was like, dude, you got some really, really tasty smelling stuff in that house, and I want in. So the polar bear is wailing on the door. I want to get in. I want to get some food. And supposedly, the Russian guys had 30 caliber handgun, 7.62 millimeter handgun, which was basically a Tokarev, in defense against the polar bear, and a 7.62 millimeter rifle, which would be a 7.62 by 5.4R, probably Nagant rifle or carbine. Yeah, but supposedly what it is these guys faced off against the bear. The bear's like, hey, Thor's hammer, let me in. You got tasty stuff. And at that point, they were like, you know what, Mr. Bear? No, Mr. Bear, you're being a very, very naughty Mr. Bear, and I'm not going to let you in. You know, a knock on the door, basically let me in. No, bad bear. Go away. Bear keeps wailing. Finally, the guy basically capped off around at the bear. The guy grabbed the rifle, capped off around the bear. The bear basically withdrew a bit. Was like, yeah, but I still want to get in. And he found out the hard way that, well, laying down and bleeding for a while and then walking away and maybe bleeding somewhere else is probably a better idea because, well, those Russians were more than little bits.
It's spicy.
Yeah, those Russians were more than a little bit spicy. And the bear decided, try to get into your place. Nah, I'm going to answer you. I'm going to answer with a firearm. So, bear versus Russian artillery. Bear loses. Scroll. I was never really a fan of this guy, but I do want to give homage at least to the Pope that resigned. But the absolute lack of tact on the left is just really truly disgusting. But Pope Benedict, who basically became really ill and decided he was going to resign his position. So Pope Benedict 16, I think, if I do my Roman numerals right. So basically he decided he would have to step down. And he was one of the few popes that ever did. Most of them actually die in office, but there was some really raging, hardcore, nasty guy on Twitter posted something up, and I thought it was really funny because remember what I've always said to you guys: never, ever, ever post anything on the internet because there is no delete button. So literally, he posted this thing up there saying something snarky, and this guy did a screen grab and posted up there later saying, "So, why'd you delete it, dude? Did you have a problem with it later, or did you think maybe it would be an issue later?" Yeah, kind of interesting in that regard. So, yeah, that wasn't the only one to swipe on the guy. And, there's been a number of people dogging on going, well, you remember the Hitler Youth. It's like, he was a member of the Hitler Youth because if he wasn't a member of Hitler Youth, he'd probably be laying dead in the yard. But even the hardcore guys, which is, the really, really anti-Nazi group called the Wiesenthal Center, they launched an investigation into his role as, where he was in the Third Reich as a Hitler Youth. And his name initially was Ratzinger. And he said it came from a family of anti-Nazis with no hint of anti-Semitism. So the fact that he was in the Hitler Youth, if you were a young child during the Third Reich and you didn't go, you'd be condemned, they said. He didn't volunteer. That's not a blemish. We've done a bunch of research, and that should be very clear. He was not a Nazi. Yeah. So basically, some piece of crap had to make some comment about it. Oh, you're dead, thank goodness, blah, 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 blah. Some snarky little stupid comment like that. I have not, as a Jew, I have not a single problem with him being a member of the Hitler Youth, because if you weren't a member of Hitler Youth, they would have just taken you out and just zapped you, okay? So it wasn't like he was saying, yeah, I'm a good Nazi, I'm going to join up with these guys. It's more like, I'm going to do this because if I don't do this, I'm going to be dead, and so is the rest of my family. Yeah. Delano Rosie. Logan Ray in the room says the Chinese are buying the homes up in Canada. Interesting. Well, he would know. He's Canadian. Delano Rosie, I'll never buy a home in Canada with Trudeau's handgun ban. Well, yeah. But the problem is also for Trudeau and the rest of these guys is there's a lot of non-compliance. People are going, yeah, that gun, I lost that years ago, fell in a lake or it got buried somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's just gone. So that whole anti-gun thing they got going on and, trying to extract the most amount of guns from everybody, it's not flying because people are just immediately going, yeah, you're trying to take it. That's probably why I need to have it. Yeah. I will make this as a closing statement. Now, I actually texted and got an answer back from one of the owners from Polymer 80. As a matter of fact, I consider him a personal friend, Lauren Kelly. But there is a statement that he made, and it's now posted up on ammoland.com, and I'll read the full thing. Polymer 80 family, as you may have seen or heard on Tuesday, ATF published an open letter to FFLs declaring that certain Polymer 80 blanks are considered firearms, quote unquote, under their latest and unprecedented interpretation of Final Rule 2021R-0FR. I want to personally address this with all of you, our loyal customers, many of whom have been with us since we started our rundown old maintenance shop on Callan Street in Vacaville, California, and I've known them since that point. Over the past several years, Polymer 80 has shouldered a considerable amount of legal expenses fighting egregious, unwarranted, and naked assaults on us, our products, and the natural and inalienable rights embedded in the Second Amendment and enshrined in our history. I want to make three things very clear. One, Polymer 80 is not, and I am not taking the bait. While Polymer 80 vehemently disagrees with the open letter, we will take the appropriate steps to ensure we continue to remain in compliance with all applicable laws or regulations. Two, in addition to continuing to produce quality products and innovate, we are also modifying existing product lines, taking into careful consideration, as best we can given ATF's constantly changing interpretations of its own rules, ATF's various positions, statements, and guidance, as well as the final rule and challenges to it across the country. Sorry about that there. As well as final rule and challenges to it across the country. Three, finally, we're going to fight as vigorously and fervently as ever, using every resource available to us in the legal system against the open letter and reclaim our rights. My ask. Polymer 80 has been beyond blessed with the best customers in this industry. Hands down, bar none. Out of respect for you, we have never asked you to donate to assist us or crowdfunded us to support our mounting legal expenses, but we've always felt that we will prevail because people buy our products and believe in their quality and outstanding service and support we provide. I stand behind that philosophy, and I continue to put you first. To this day, in the coming days, you will see more promotions and activity from our retail website than usual, and I ask that you support us by buying our products and being active in engaging customers. In return, you will get great products at great prices, and we'll use those funds to fight each of the outrageous attempts made to shut us down, including the open letter. I'm calling this sales campaign, quote, the war chest, end quote, because it will enable us to continue to fight and take legal action. Please join us, buy our products, and support Polymer 80. Together, we can take lawful action to stop continuous encroachment on our lives, our American way of life, and the Second Amendment. Thank you all, and may God bless you all. Lauren Kelly, founder, CEO. So, I am asking you all to go to this website, at least look, and see if there's anything there that possibly you might need. And you never know. Possibly there might be something there. It might just come in handy, check it out, see how it works, get some what's-its. If nothing else, purchase something. Okay? If nothing else, purchase something. That website I currently have in the chat room is the website. So I read www.polymer80.com. Go to that website, buy their products, support them in this situation that we find ourselves right now, where a bureaucracy that should not be a bureaucracy is making law and trying to take away those sacrosanct Second Amendment rights from you piecemeal. We need to stop this stuff. Logan Ray says, police are saying we don't have time for gun confiscation. However, the Liberal Party is saying we can bring in outside help. Yeah, good luck with that one, man. Good luck with that one. That is hilarious. Yeah, just one more idiot I got to throw out there. Asa Hutchison. Missed it by only one letter. ASA. Should have been ASS. Republican governor vows, we'll do everything to ensure Trump won't win the 2024 GOP nominee. What a tool. I mean, you know, when you basically do that backbiting stuff against your own party, that is just disgusting. That's the kind of guy that really, truly doesn't deserve your support in any way, shape, or form. And I really have no respect for the man whatsoever. And I really, truly have no way of seeing anything positive about him other than hopefully he gets booted out of office and replaced by somebody who actually is somebody who wants the Republican Party to move forward. So on that note, folks, I think it's time to break off. I appreciate your kind attentions, all the good stuff like that there. You guys get a gold star for this longer opportunity for me to, stay my spew and all the rest of the good stuff like that there. Sure appreciate your kind attention. You guys hanging out with me, good stuff like that there. And I guess it's just time to break off. You get a gold star for attendance, and I guess well, I should simply just stop talking and let you guys clock out and all the rest of the good stuff like that. There, I'm gonna break off this one. Get a gold star for attendance. Appreciate your kind attentions. You guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday. You got many other things to do, and you guys hung out with me in a full duration. You really truly get a gold star for attendance. But I'm gonna break off this one. So eat good, considering as always, you know you love it, and I'll catch you guys next week. Hope you had a good New Year's and a good Christmas, good stuff like that there. Let's continue to kick ass, take names on 2023. See you guys. Finish!